ไงเมลาตาเป็นยังไงภาวนานอนสบาย
มันหนัก
พยายามนะ
มันเป็นเหมือนกับอันที่มีอยู่ให้ต่างหากภาวนาไปภาวนามาลงก็หายพุทโธก็
พุทโธมันอะไรยากขนาดฮะไม่ยากพุทโธฮะจิตก็ไม่อยากอยู่ในอนาคตเหรออนาคตก็ยังไม่มาอยู่ในอดีตผ่านไปแล้วฮะIs it sharp? 2 meters is a little bit. Should be more than 3 meters. เรื่องภาวนานะของเราช่วงแรกก็สมถะทำให้ใจสงบเมื่อใจมันสงบก็พินิจพิจารณาก็ได้แต่ของเราต้องรู้นะสมถะเมื่ออยู่กับพุทโธนะทางถูกต้องเมื่อไม่อยู่กับพุทโธเมื่ออยู่กับความรู้สึกหรือความคิดหรือความจำก็ทางผิดทำได้ง่ายนะทำยากแต่ทำได้ง่ายอยู่กับพุทโธนะหรืออยู่กับลมหายใจเข้าลมหายใจออกจับนะสมาธิจับนะเรื่องหมวกหน้าจับนะนี่อารมณ์นี้ให้ดีนะรู้ลมหายใจกำลังเข้ามาลมหายใจเต็มที่ลมหายใจเข้ากำลังลงมาเปลี่ยนไปเป็นลมหายใจออกนะลมหายใจออกนะลมหายใจเข้าลมหายใจออกของเราก็อยากรู้นะละเอียดหรือไม่ละเอียดลมหายใจละเอียดหรือไม่ละเอียดก็ไม่สนใจเรื่องความรู้นะและสนใจเรื่องอยู่กับพุทโธนะหรืออยู่กับนะลมหายใจเมื่ออยู่กับพุทโธหรือลมหายใจทางถูกต้องนะเรื่องสมถะเมื่อไม่อยู่นะเมื่ออยู่กับความคิดจึงกลับมาเมื่ออยู่กับความรู้สึกหรือความภาพนะภาพร้อนที่ขึ้นมานะมันผิดทางแล้วนะจึงกลับมาอยู่กับลมหายใจจึงกลับมาอยู่กับพุทโธเร็วว่าพุทโธช้าก็ไม่เป็นไรนะ ต้องอยู่กับพุทโธนะสนใจในพุทโธสนใจในลมหายใจเนี่ยมันเดี๋ยวนี้ก็ละเอียดก็ไม่ละเอียดแรงนะลมหายใจเข้าก็ยาวก็สั้นลมหายใจออกยาวก็สั้นละเอียดก็ไม่ละเอียดนี่เรียกว่า การฝึกภาวนานั่งสมาธิฝึกภาวนาสมาธิรู้นะรู้เรื่องลมหายใจเข้ารู้เรื่องลมหายใจออกนะ ทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างและไม่สนใจเกิดอะไรขึ้นความคิดก็เข้ามาออกไปของเรามองดูตลอดเวลาและไม่สนเวลานั่งภาวนาก็ไม่สนใจเรื่องความคิดไม่สนใจเรื่องความรู้สึกนอกจากนะมีความเจ็บความปวดนะมาขึ้นสุดท้ายก็อยู่กับลมหายใจกับพุทโธไม่ได้นะพิจารณาความ ทุกขเวทนาโอเคยอมรับมันทุกขเวทนาเป็นอะไรของเรากลัวทุกขเวทนาแล้วไม่อยากเห็นลุกขึ้นเมื่อลุกขึ้นทุกขเวทนาก็หายไปเป็นยังไงทุกขเวทนาแบบนี้เป็นอัศจรรย์หรืออะไรของเราก็เมื่อทุกขเวทนาก็มาขึ้นแล้วสุดท้ายก็อยู่กับลมหายใจไม่ได้กับพุทโธไม่ได้ก็พิจารณาทุกขเวทนา มันก็ไปที่เข้าซ้ายก็เข้าขวานะที่มีอยู่ทุกขเวทนาแล้วจอดที่นี่นะเหมือนของเราจอดที่นี่เวลาดูลมหายใจเข้าลมหายใจออกจอดนะแล้วดูแต่ช่วงแรกต้องยอมรับทุกขเวทนาต้องยอมรับมันนะหลังจากนี้ทุกขเวทนาอยู่ที่ไหนอยู่ในผิวหนังอยู่ในเส้นเอ็นอยู่ในกระดูกอยู่กับเนื้ออยู่ที่ไหนเราไม่เชื่อนะเมื่อถามถูกต้องนะทุกขเวทนาเกือบเข้าใจนะทุกขเวทนามาจากไหนทุกขเวทนาก็จากนี้เข้าสายหรือเข้าขวาน้ำมันหายไปแล้วไปทั้งอื่นโอเคของเราไปทั้งอื่นด้วยนะทุกขเวทนาเดียวนี่อยู่ในสายขวานะดูเหมือนกันอยู่ในผิวหนังของเราเกิดมามีผิวหนังของเราไม่มีทุกขเวทนาตลอดเวลาอยู่ในเนื้อของเราไม่มีตั้งแต่เกิดมาก็มีเนื้อมีเส้นเอ็นมีกระดูกทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างก็ไม่มีทุกขเวทนาแต่เวลานั่งสมาธิ20 นาที30 นาทีโอ้โหไม่ไหวแล้วเวลาลุกขึ้นไม่มีปัญหาไม่ทุกขเวทนาก็หายไปคนที่อยู่ที่ไม่อยู่ประจำที่วัดนะเวลาคุยกันกินกัน2 ชั่วโมง3 ชั่วโมงก็ไม่มีทุกขเวทนานั่งตลอดไม่มีทุกขเวทนาแต่เวลานั่งสมาธิพุทโธโอ้ยเจ็บมากนี่สาเหตุที่ของเขาพิจารณาใช่ไหมและเรื่องพิจารณาเหมือนกันนะเมื่ออยู่กับทุกขเวทนามันถูกทางแล้วนะพิจารณาทุกขเวทนาก็ถามเรื่องทุกขเวทนาเป็นยังไงความรู้สึกเป็นยังไงนี่อยู่ที่ไหนเนี่ยมันถูกทางนะเมื่อไปในความคิดหรือไปในสงสัยทุกขเวทนามาจากโอ้ยผมหนังก็ไม่ถูกต้องเนี่ยผิดทางแล้วเข้าใจไหมเมลาแต่เข้าใจไหมต้องเข้าใจนี่โอ้ยผมไม่นั่งสักไปโอ้ยเดี๋ยวหลังหักเดี๋ยวขาหักเดี๋ยวนี้หักเดี๋ยวหัวหักเนี่ยมันไม่ใช่เนี่ยเป็นคำตอบของกิเลสและความคำตอบของกิเลสของเราไม่ฟังของเราตอบกิเลสไม่เชื่อไม่แน่ใจและกิเลสก็หาทางอื่นนะโอเคเข้าใจนะนี่สำคัญที่ของเรารู้นะแค่นี้นิดหน่อยอยู่กับพุทโธทางถูกต้องอยู่กับความรู้สึกความคิดหรือความจำทางผิดนะอยู่กับพิจารณากับอารมณ์นะทุกขเวทนาหรือเป็นร่างกายสุดท้ายก็เป็นร่างกายเรื่องพิจารณาร่างกายก็เหมือนกันอยู่กับร่างกายถูกต้องอยู่กับความคิดหรืออาศัยเนี่ยอยู่กับความจำหรือความคิดนะหรือความรู้สึกนี้หรือภาพนี้หรือนิมิตนี้ก็ผิดทางแล้วเข้าใจนะแต่เรื่องทุกขเวทนาสำคัญยอมรับมันความรู้สึกเป็นยังไงเพราะว่าของเรากลัวเมื่อของเรากลัวของเราไม่เข้าใจถูกต้องนะเมื่อเข้าใจถูกต้องนะก็ไม่กลัวอะไรโอเคนี่ความเนี่ยมันทุกขเวทนาและไม่สนใจเท่าไหร่และสุดท้ายเวลาตามไปนะตามไปจากจุดนี้ถึงจุดโน้นจุดนั้นนะและสุดท้ายก็เห็นชัดๆทุกขเวทนามาจากไหนไม่มาจากนี้เพราะว่าเข้าสายที่เคยโอ้ยไม่ไหวเมื่อพิจารณาถูกต้องนะเข้าสายก็ไม่เจ็บแล้วเข้ากว่าก็เจ็บเป็นยังไงทำไมเที่ยวนี้ทุกขเวทนาก็ไปจากจุดนี้ถึงจุดโน้นเป็นทุกขเวทนาแบบไหน เมื่อตัดมือนะมันตัดว่าตัดนิ้วนะมันจะรู้นะมันทุกขเวทนาอยู่กับนิ้วอันเดียวไม่ได้ไปที่อื่นใช่ไหมแต่ทุกขเวทนาที่เกิดขึ้นในสมาธิไปจุดนี้เดี๋ยวจุดโน้นเดี๋ยวจุดนั้นเป็นยังไงมันเป็นอะไรเป็นแบบไหนเข้าใจไหมเมื่อใจมันสงบนะของเราอยู่กับพุทโธลมหายใจถึงไม่มีความคิดถึงไม่มีความจำขึ้นมามันสบายนี่เรียกว่าเข้าสู่อุปจารสมาธิเนี่ยสบายมากนะอนาคตก็ไม่มีอดีตก็ไม่มีความกลัวก็ไม่มีความห่วงก็ไม่มีสบายออกจากสมาธิโอ้โหบุ่นวายอีกแล้วกิเลสจับเราเพราะว่าภายในสมาธิเมื่อเขาสู่สมาธินะกิเลสก็ไม่มีโอกาสให้จับเรากิเลสก็ไม่มีอำนาจในสมาธินี่สาเหตุที่สำคัญมากนะของเราฝึกสมาธิโอเคเข้าใจนะวันนี้แค่นี้นะจำเอาไว้นะอยู่กับพุทโธถูกต้องอยู่กับลมหายใจถูกต้องอยู่กับทุกขเวทนาและถามเรื่องทุกขเวทนาถูกต้องอันนี้ก็ผิดแล้วต้องตึงกลับมาโอเควันนี้แค่นี้ก็พอนะ สำหรับคนไทยนะเดี๋ยวจะกลับกุฏิก็ได้นอกจากอยากฟังภาษาอังกฤษ ต้องพยายามหน่อยเมลาตาพยายามความพยายามอยู่ที่ไหนความสำเร็จอยู่ที่นั่นเนี่ยก็ไม่เป็นไรดีขึ้นนะทุกวันนิดหน่อยวันนี้ก็2 ชั่วโมงพรุ่งนี้2 ชั่วโมงครึ่งและอีก1 อาทิตย์3 ชั่วโมงอีก1 อาทิตย์นะ4 ชั่วโมงขึ้นไปเรื่อยนะถึงมันใจมันสงบจริงๆ so what am I going to do with you yeah same yeah I mean we tend to forget that's why I said I mean just 2 days ago you forgot it already? What is the right path and what is the wrong path? The right path, when we do samatha or, calm meditation, is when we are with the Buddha or when we are with the breath. Whenever, our attention goes to something else, be the image, be it be it the feeling or be it, whatever happens, be it a thought or be it a memory, I mean, we are on the wrong path. That is so easy to remember, no? But when we sit there, that is interesting. Where is this thought coming from? Why does this memory suddenly pop up? Yeah? That is all the distraction of the kilesas that want us to pull out of samadhi. Yeah? That is their way, that is their trick. Yeah? They produce all sorts of images, they can produce all sorts of feelings, strange feelings coming up, especially, painful feelings, they come up, be it in the knee or be it, be it in the back or wherever it comes from. The moment we get up, this strange feeling disappears. This feeling of pain disappears, I mean, what kind of magic is that? Who produced this feeling? That is what we have to investigate, So we are with the Buddha or we are with the breath, know every detail of the breath. Now the in-breath has started, now the in-breath at its height, now the in-breath slows down, now the in-breath changes to out-breath, now the out-breath, starts, now it is at its height, now it slows down, the out-breath changes to the in-breath. That's all what we want to know. We don't want to manipulate the breath, we don't want to make it calm, we don't want to make it in any way, we just want to know. How is the breath at this very moment? All the same holds true for the Buddha. How is the Buddha? Is it fast? Is it shallow? Is it deep? Is it, whatever. We want to know. until we enter the state of samadhi. Yeah? And this state of samadhi is when there are no more thoughts and no more memories. Yeah? And when there are no thoughts and no more memories, yeah? I mean, the future cannot arise, and the past has gone, because our memory stopped working for the moment while we are in samadhi. And the thoughts and the memory that produce the future, yeah? Or the thoughts, and the memory that produces fear or worries, yeah? So when we stay in a samadhi, there are no worries, there is no fear, there is no loneliness, all these things disappear, yeah? There is no future and there is no past. All these things disappear. And then we know, yeah? I mean, that is, that is sort of happiness or peacefulness or whatever, you experience, yeah? But don't, when you do the samatha practice, whenever you deviate from the Buddha or from the breath, I mean, you are on the wrong path. Don't listen to the kilesas who tell you, you have to sit straight. No. You don't have to sit straight, you have to sit comfortable, and then it is not, samatha practice or is not a practice of sitting correctly, it is a practice of controlling the mind or controlling the citta, yeah? To stay with one object. Yeah? And whatever the kilesas produce, be it memories or be it thoughts or be it pictures, that come up, yeah? Yeah, we see them and then we return back to the Buddha or back to the breath. That's what we do. Yeah, we don't go out for these things. We don't go out for the nimittas that that arises. We see them, and then we go back. Yeah, we see the pictures, we go back. We don't pay any interest to them. We pay only interest to the Buddha or to the breath until the breath becomes subtle. Yeah? And when the breath becomes subtle, we cannot feel it in the nostrils anymore, and it drops down to the heart. And the knowingness of the breath is much more detailed than the feeling of the breath that we latched on in the beginning. We latched on the feeling, knowing, okay, in breath you feel it, out breath we feel it, yeah. But once the mind is getting calm, and there are not so many thoughts and not so many memories anymore, the breath becomes really detailed or really subtle. And once it becomes subtle, the knowingness, that arises in the citta, I mean, then it drops into the citta, and then we are in the citta, and we know, okay, very, very detailed the in-breath and the out-breath, and we can stay, And then sooner or later there are no more thoughts and there are no memories, and we are in Upachara Samadhi. Yeah? That is our resting place, and we need to develop it. Yeah? We really need to develop it so that we can, just like you go to sleep every night, we need to rest the mind from its activities, from thinking and memorizing and, going out to all the sensations that the body produces. We need to rest it, we need to strengthen it, we need to focus it, and that's why we do, the samatha practice, meditation practice, going into samadhi, and then it becomes more and more, I mean, in the beginning, don't pay too much attention, the sound seems to be much stronger, but don't pay any attention to it. You know it, how can you not know it? But then sooner or later, the world goes further and further away. The sounds become more and more distant, the body becomes more and more distant, and in the end, there will be only the place, where the citta is, in the center of the chest, there will be only this place. Everything else we don't know. We are not aware of it because we are aware only of the Buddha, or we are aware only of the breath. So there is nothing wrong with that, Sometimes it can even happen, when we are that concentrated, then we don't realize in what kind of sitting position or standing position we are anymore, Because the citta doesn't have time, to look for all the, for all the information, It needs a lot, It needs a lot of information from the body to know how it sits, if the head is down or if the head is up. Yeah? And that, when our concentration grows stronger, we lose that. Yeah? So we get wrong information about our posture. And don't worry about it, just go on with the breath, or go on with the Buddha, until, until the breath stops. And when the breath stops, don't get afraid, Tell yourself, whatever can disappear, let it disappear, And whatever stays, that's what I want to know, So you jump into this knowingness that knows that the breath has stopped, And then you can enter the one-pointedness. And one-pointedness is where the whole universe disappears. Before that, in samadhi or in a deeper state of upachara samadhi, the world already became very distant. But in the state of appana samadhi or deep samadhi or one-pointedness or whatever you want to call it, the whole universe disappears. And that is amazing, Luang Dhamma talked about it, that it's the first stage of, that's the first wonder, that we can achieve in meditation. And then you have then when you come out of it, you have no doubt about, the Buddha's path, and that, this whole universe is built on an illusion. Because when you come back, how do you get back into this world, through memories and thoughts, you have to establish yourself or your ego again by thinking and by memorizing, And it takes a few moments, the longer you stayed in appana samadhi, the longer it takes, it can take up to 5 minutes, until you realize who you are, where you are, and why you are here, That can be the result of, coming out from appana samadhi, So, just for your knowledge, yes, appana samadhi gives a really certainty, that the Buddha's teaching, is completely right, and that he points us out, on the right path, on the right path to deliverance. Because appana samadhi is just like a preview of nibbana. Because there's nothing left, the universe has disappeared, but something is there, Eternity, you can call it eternity, you can call it nibbana, or whatever you want to call it, It's one-pointedness. The knowingness that we had to use in order to get into appana samadhi, the knowingness of objects, becomes one point, The subject and object merges into one point, and that's why we can't say anything anymore about this state, Because we don't have a language for it. Our language is built on subject and object, on duality, And one-pointedness is not duality, it's one-pointedness, So if you can, if you put your effort into it, and get into appana samadhi, this is a wonder, and you will not forget it, And when you come out, your first thought might be, at least it was for me, I want to go back. I don't want to stay, in a world where we are constantly bombarded by these senses, all these sense inputs, all these sense inputs. The feeling, the touching, the 6 senses, including the sense of, smelling, the sense of hearing, the sense of seeing, and so on. All these bombard us constantly, It's a feeling like we are in the world war of the senses, And nobody, if we experience, the deep samadhi, that wants to go back into the war of the senses because it's useless, you constantly have to fight with it, you like one and you dislike the other, You want this and you don't want that, it's a constant bothersome, it's a lot of dukkha, So in order, like I said in previous talks, in order to get out, get permanent into the state of appana samadhi, into nibbana, Appana Samadhi is just a preview of Nibbana. But to get into Nibbana, I mean, we have to go the fourth noble truth, yeah? The path to the deliverance, or the path to the end of dukkha. Sila, keeping our precepts. Yeah? When we are here in the monastery, we keep our 8 precepts. Yeah? About Samadhi, I already talked. Yeah? I talked about a lot about Samadhi. And then the rest is, the investigation. And the first and foremost thing is the investigation of the body. When we do samatha, I mean, there's one exception when the pain becomes so strong. So we investigate pain. Yeah? We can investigate it. And once we investigate pain, we can investigate any kind of feeling that creeps up. Yeah? A feeling is a feeling, so we can feel it, we can embrace it, because we want to know what this feeling, what is the experience of this feeling? What is the experience of what is the experience of the feeling of pain like? Yeah? Or what is the experience of the feeling of fear like? Or lust or hate, How does it feel like? What is the experience like? Yeah? We want to know that. Yeah? Once we know that, we can embrace it. Yeah? We don't dislike it. Yeah? We can even like it. That makes it easier. But we don't want to dislike it because then we cannot investigate. Whatever we dislike, we cannot investigate. So, I mean, once we we are neutral to it or we like it, then we can investigate. Where is this feeling? Where's this feeling of pain? Yeah. Okay, then we go to the location of the pain, investigate it. Look, where is it? Is it in the skin? Is it the bones? Is it in the flesh? Is it in the tendon? Is it in the muscle? Yeah. Where is it? Actually, when we come close to the truth, it moves from one point. Yeah. Let's say it was in the left knee, yeah, was extreme pain in the left knee. Once we come close to the truth, because we cannot find it in any of the bodily parts, yeah, then it disappears from this point and goes to another point. Yeah. So it was in the left knee, then it might go to the right knee. Yeah. Then the right knee is in extreme pain. Before it wasn't in pain. Huh? And the left knee that was in extreme pain is not anymore pain. Yeah. We can test it out in the same way, in a similar way. I mean, just, when this extreme pain is there, we get up and there's no more extreme pain. Yeah? So it's the same thing. It moves, and then it moves to another location. And we go to this location, investigate in the same way until we find where the source of this pain is coming from. Yeah? That is the investigation, and we can do that with any kind of feeling. Yeah? We can also ask for pain, I mean, what came before it? What kind of thought? Yeah, I was bored, or was I, I mean, I didn't like my Buddha so much, or maybe nothing came before. Yeah, it was just, just the pain. Yeah, but for other feelings, when a feeling of hatred, arises, what came before? What kind of memory came before? What kind of feeling came before? And then go down, I mean, reflect, reflect about it, what came before that and what came before that, yeah, until you find, the stone, that caused all the circles in the pond, yeah. I mean, because all what we see, when a feeling arises, we classify it, and that's it, yeah. We don't know what the feeling is like, We don't know what causes this feeling, yeah. We need to understand it, yeah. And that, that's the investigation of feelings, yeah. And the investigation of the body is foremost, yeah. What is the body? What part of the body is the body, yeah? Split it up, yeah. Put it, take it off, take it off your meditation seat and put it in front, the 32 parts or whatever you like, put it in front of you and then look at it, So what part of the body, makes the body, yeah? And then assemble it, assemble it in the right way, or assemble it in a different way. I mean, you can have a lot of fun with this, yeah? I mean, put all the parts of the body out, I mean, yeah. And then, for instance, I mean, you put your feet, at your shoulders, and you put your hand, on your hips, Is that a body? Huh? You can put your head between your legs, I mean, is that a body, A lot of people have their brains, between their legs, and that, yeah. So, see it, yeah. Understand it. Understand the nature of the body. Understand, that you are not the body. That, that what sees the body, outside, yeah. When you place it in front of you, yeah, you see it outside, and what sits there and knows that these are body parts. That's the investigation of the body. Okay, that's enough for today, yeah. If you have any questions, yeah, you can ask. And I really need to mention that much more often, because we easily get lost by the kilesas. When you're with a Buddha, or when you're object of investigation, or when you're with the breath, you're on the right path. If you are going into feelings or memories or thoughts, you're on the wrong path. And you have to bring the mind back to the object that you decided in the beginning to stay on. And be the breath, you stay on the breath for determined time frame, maybe an hour or 2 hours. Okay, I stay with the breath for 2 hours. And then you stay with the breath for 2 hours. And you don't switch the object. I stay with the Buddha for 2 hours, and then I don't switch the object. I stay with the body for 2 hours. I do this exercise, taking the body apart, into bits and pieces, and then put it back. And put it outside and put it back. Put it outside and put it back, yeah? If you're not with this, if you get off into assumptions of what you think you see or what you think you realize, that is the wrong thing. Yeah, it's very clear, it's very simple, but we tend to constantly forget it. Okay, that's just as a very helpful, way, to remember. Yeah, when we go astray. Yeah, very simple. Yeah. When I sit down or when I do walking meditation, now I'm with the Buddha. Yeah? Whenever I'm not with the Buddha, I know I'm off the path. Yeah? Whenever I'm with the object of investigation, then I'm on the right path. When I'm not with this same object, then I'm on the wrong path. Yeah? Simple. Yeah? And after 5 minutes, we forget it. You stay, where is this thought coming from? Why does this thought now arise? Where is this memory coming from? Why does it now come? I haven't thought about it for such a long time. That's all off the path. Okay? Fine. Sometimes we are even with our work, Any questions? มีคำถามไหมถามก็ได้ Yeah.
Sometimes when I sit down to meditate and I'm observing my breath or
Yeah.
I'm observing the Buddha, the more I observe, the more tension builds up in my chest. What am I doing wrong?
You put your attention on the chest. You put your attention on the feeling instead of putting your attention on the breath. Yeah. Or sometimes, sometimes it is you're too tense. Now relax, there are two things, yeah. You're either too tense, yeah. That's also for the Spanish, yeah. You're either too tense, then something, it's the same thing, then something happens, yeah. Relax it, or you go off the path, put your attention on, for instance, the chest or on this feeling, yeah. You realize, okay, there's a feeling, and then go back to the breath or go back to the Buddha. Yeah? See, there's two options, yeah.
If it's the first one, if I am too tense,
Yeah.
What can I do to relax more?
Close your eyes, breathe in deeply, and say, relax. How do you think the chitta controls his body? It's the intention. I really want to relax. Yeah? Try it out. Yeah? Close your eyes and try out to relax the body. And it does it? See. This is, meditation is not only about getting calm. It's about understanding the nature of the body, that the chitta controls everything of the body. When you put your fist together, it's the chitta who controls it. Yeah, send some signal up to the brain, and then the brain controls it. Yeah, it's the same thing. You can lose your hand. Yeah, just by sending up the signal. Okay, relax. Okay, and then you relax. Okay. Then if there are no more questions, then we go back fighting. Yeah. Yes. One more question.
Yes, I mostly do walking meditation.
Yeah?
And sitting meditation.
That's okay.
And of course, I don't pay attention to the surroundings.
Yeah.
Except my path.
Yeah.
But still, there is understanding that I'm walking with
Yeah.
my hands on the path.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's not necessary to keep eyes shut and not to see anything, and not to hear anything. You can get into samadhi even with some perception
Yeah.
of what is going on around you.
Yeah. For walking meditation, please, also there's a very simple way, how to do successful, samadhi while walking meditation. You start at the starting point, you look towards the end, yeah, and then tell yourself, okay, this path only I want to stay with the breath, or I want to stay with the Buddha. Then we are at the end of the path, yeah, and we also only look 1 meter ahead of us. We don't look left or look right, yeah? We look 1 meter ahead of us. When we reach the end point, we notice how long we have been with the Buddha or with the breath, yeah? And then we turn around, make another determination. Just this one path, I want to stay with the Buddha. Not for 3 hours, no, just this one path, yeah? Until you finally can do one path where you stay with the breath or where stay with the Buddha. Yeah? Yes, you can reach samadhi. You cannot reach appana samadhi, but you can reach upachara samadhi. You have to walk a little while, For me, about 2 or 3 hours walking meditation, and then suddenly, I was outside and saw my body walking up and down. That's very relaxing, because the chitta has to control the walking. And the rest of the chitta is much easier to concentrate on the Buddha or on the breath than when we sit where we have to concentrate the whole of the chitta. Yeah?
My following question. Then I found myself with Buddha stop.
Yeah.
I have perception that I'm sitting in the knowing.
You're sitting in the knowingness.
And sort of,
Yeah.
I know that there is knowing around.
Yes, but we don't go into. I just explained. Yeah, as long as we are Buddha, we are on the right path. If we are not, if you stay with the knowingness, or some people stay with the universe, we are on the wrong. It's not the right thing. That's why I try to explain it, to make it so clear. Yeah, as long you say Buddha or you say breath, and then you stick to this object, and you don't let go of this object. Yeah? So you went, the knowingness, it's actually a feeling, so you went into the feeling without, okay, the Buddha stops, Yes, like I told you last time, the Buddha stops because your interest in the Buddha stops. And, of course you feel more relaxed, because the mind is calm, so you go into the calmness, the feeling of calmness, or the feeling of knowingness, but it's wrong. Okay?
Maybe I explained a little bit not quite what I wanted to say. It's not the feeling, but I start, so to say, know what is happening around me without looking at it. It just comes here and I get sort of reflection around me, what is happening around me.
What do you know?
I know
mind is in contact with.
Some minds contact.
No. I mean, it's just you externalize something that is coming from inside. Yeah. I mean, we project a lot of things, onto other things, yeah. So, as a recipe, just don't stay with this, yeah. I mean, see, it's a kilesas trying to pull you out, yeah. Just go back to the Buddha. Say, okay, not sure, yeah. The moment you put a label on something, it becomes fixed. It becomes an object of itself, yeah. So if I put a label on a certain feeling, that it's a mind trying to contact me, then this really exists in our vision, yeah, but it might not be real, yeah? Because we put it out there and say this is this, then it makes it real. If you just say not sure, go back to the Buddha, these things will disappear. Okay? Anything else? Yeah?
How do you know if an upachara samadhi? What is it exactly?
How do we know we are in upachara samadhi? When we feel safe, yeah? When there's no more thought and no more memories coming up, and we feel like in a safe house, yeah? We still, experience the things, but they seem to be further away, yeah? And nothing at the moment, and we don't want to, the feeling is we don't want anything. The moment we want something, we are out, yeah? There's also a problem for a lot of meditators. They open the door to the safe house, it's nice and cool, and then close the door in front of them instead of going in and closing it behind them. Because when you close it behind, you really feel in a safe house, yeah? The future and the past and the worries and the fear all have gone for that moment as long as you're in samadhi, yeah? And only when you go out, you feel, the pressure of the kilesas, wanting this or liking this or don't like this or things like that, yeah? But while you're in the safe house, there's nothing to worry about, yeah? Yeah? And then it depends on, the characteristics of the people, what they have practiced in the past lives, yeah? What kind of feeling, some people feel happy, some people feel joy, some people, the tears are running down, other people just feel peaceful. So, that depends on the person, yeah? Okay?
Is jhana and samadhi the same thing or are they different?
Now it's on a different level. Jhana, you don't have the Buddha or you don't have the breath, jhana is, concentrating on the feeling, yeah? On that what is there, yeah? So, when pity arises, yeah? But when pity arises, then you concentrate on pity, yeah? And completely get absorbed into pity, yeah? But forget about it. There are so few people who know about the jhanas, who can do the jhanas. We do samadhi because every one of us can do it. Yeah? Okay, so